Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about how to be a responsible makeup collector. And I feel like this topic has come up a lot recently because of me being in the project painting community and the influx of makeup releases. It's like every day there's new makeup releases, so I'm just sick and tired of it. I joined the painting community a couple months ago, and ever since then I've learned a lot of good tips to keep me not spending a ton of money and buying makeup that I don't need. Like every release that's come out so far this year, I've just been like, that's boring. I already have something like that. The only thing that would have got me this year is probably the Morphe 39A if I didn't already have it and got it for Christmas. So let's just go right into it, and I'll talk to you all about like my tips. I have about 6 written down here, and I'll give you some examples. Hopefully this video isn't too long. Let me know if any of these tips help you, if you plan to utilize any of them, and if this changed your perspective. So the first one is declutter. So the other day, if you check out my painting Instagram, which I'll link below, I decluttered like 27 lipsticks. Okay, so I had about 107 lipsticks in my room collection. So I had maybe like 3 or 4 elsewhere. Like I know I have 2 in my project pans, and I have 1 in my purse. So like there's some out there, but they're not included into my main collection. So what I did is I went through, I swatched, I still have like some lines on my arm of where I swatched. I swatched all of the lipsticks. So I swatched 107 lipsticks, and I separated them. I started first by separating them into categories. So since that was my biggest category, this is what I did first. I did reds and pinks, berries and purples, other like random colors, and browns. And the berries was my biggest like chunk of lipsticks, and I actually decluttered the most from there. So counting 107, and I decluttered 27, so I have about 80 plus like the 2 or 3 I mentioned that are in my other projects, and it felt really good. One, because a lot of them had gone bad. The main ones that had gone bad were like the ColourPop that I had, and the NYX. NYX goes bad really fast, especially if you look on their lipsticks. They'll tell you they only have like a 6-month shelf life, and in some cases that's really right. Like their butter glosses I can get away with, but this was like a limited edition. Sometimes they have like limited edition like lip formulas come out. This is one of those, and I remember getting it like at the end of football season, so maybe like I got it in over Christmas or something like that, and the first time I used it was around February or March, and it was bad, and it's July. So I swatched, a lot of my lipsticks smell like paint. That's how you know that they're bad. That's a big sign. I would definitely suggest decluttering lipsticks every 6 months because they have such a short lifespan. The next tip is shop your stash. So if you look up shop your stash videos on YouTube, you'll find so many people. Some people do makeup baskets, so they'll go through their collection and they'll just pick out what makeup items they're going to use this week. Considering my collection isn't that big, what I do instead is I number my palettes. I have about 16 palettes, and then I like decide to do like, oh, I'm going to do like just a section for like my single eyeshadows. So like 17, 18, 19 are like single shadows from this company or single shadows from this company. For instance, I have a big collection of, not a big, but I have like a sizable amount of like Luxie Beauty eyeshadow singles and ColourPop eyeshadow singles. So I separate those, but I just do like a random number generator, and I pick what palette I'm going to use that day since I don't wear makeup that often. But during the school year, I might just pick like 2 numbers and use them for the next 2 weeks just to get a feel for what products you're going to use. People also put in like what lipsticks they're going to wear, what highlighters they're going to wear, what fragrances. Sometimes people pick what they're going to wear for 2 weeks, lotion, stuff like that, because it gets you excited about your collection, especially when you have such a big collection. The people that I watch that have really big collections, it's really fun to watch because it's like, oh, they're rediscovering this makeup for like the second time, and it's really awesome seeing them get a kick out of products they've had for maybe months or years that they haven't really been reaching for. The next tip is join painting projects or support groups for makeup addiction. You may not have an addiction, or you may not know you have an addiction, but if you have like, I've seen people that have over 90 palettes, and that's a lot. I think I don't want to have more palettes than years on this earth, so I'm turning 22 in November, so I might pick up another palette between then and now, but it just depends. I don't feel like I need them anymore. And panning projects also get you to like look into your collection for items that fit the theme. I'm doing a Golden Girls project pan with the Fantastic Ladies collab, and I love the Golden Girls, and I picked out like what specific categories. I have about like 20 categories, and people have to pick 7 because there were 7 seasons. So like one is something sweet, so you have to go in your collection, find something that's sweet or has a sweet name, and use that in your project pan. If you look on my page, you'll see I have a Killing 13 by Halloween, and that is me pulling stuff out of my collection that I want to use up and I want to get progress on. It's actually really motivational as well because you're actually rolling stuff out. A part of this is also another tip, which is keeping track of your empties. So I actually have a little journal here, and I've kept track of my empties since January, and I have about $800 worth of empties. And this can be makeup, skincare, hair care, body care, all that type of stuff. But it's motivational to see like, wow, I'm almost at $1,000 of stuff I've used up this year, and it makes you think like about buying stuff, because it's like, oh my gosh, if I buy that, I don't know, Bath and Body Works lotion, that's adding so much into my collection. Now, I didn't start off knowing how much money's in my collection, which a lot of people do, but I was kind of scared to do that. So what I did was I just was like, let's just get through this year and see how much I can use up, and then maybe next year I'll do an inventory and I can actually calculate how much money is in my actual, I guess, like collection. Yeah. The next one is let the hype die before you buy. So I know a lot of people get really hyped about products, but companies are now like putting out stuff every week, every month, and it's a lot. Like ColourPop puts out stuff every week. I haven't bought from ColourPop for myself since last year. Because it's too much hype, and then once it dies down, then you see reviews. It's like, oh, okay, did I really need this? And you don't really need this. The only thing from ColourPop I would say I really needed, like I really wanted, was this All I See Is Magic palette, and my boyfriend got this for me for Christmas, so I didn't even buy it. These are the colors. I love this palette. It's so versatile. It was a holiday palette. They may be bringing it back. I don't know if it's still on the website, but this is like something I actually wanted, and it was limited edition, so it was justified for me to get that. And I would suggest for a month letting the hype die for like a month and then revisiting it. And with that, I would suggest getting a Pinterest as well, so you can make a Pinterest wish list and you can go through it every 2 weeks and say, I hadn't even thought about that in the past month. Do I really want that? Am I really craving that? I don't think so. The one thing I was craving for a while, which I ended up putting on my Pinterest for a swap group I'm in. I sometimes participate in a makeup group. They do themed swaps. So you sign up and your budget is $50, and you shop for somebody else and they shop for you, and you have to spend $50 on that person's wish list. So I put this on my wish list, and this is the Beach Cosmetics It's My Rary palette. And I haven't really used it. I think I used a couple of the colors, but I like it so far. The only thing I was confused about is why they have this white here, and they have this white here, and they're the same color, and one's a highlighter and one's an eyeshadow. I was really confused about that. Same thing with Fairy Tale and Radiant. They're like, it's these two colors. They're like the same thing, but one's an eyeshadow and one's a highlighter. I haven't tried the bronzer or the highlight. I've tried the eyeshadows, and the eyeshadows didn't really last long on my eyes. So I'm glad I didn't purchase it. It was purchased for me. But I thought about it. Like, this palette came out months ago, and I just got it last week. So thinking about it, making me want it over time, I felt like I kind of deserved it in a way. And I actually went through my collection and I tried to figure out, do I have similar colors? What makes this palette unique? It's a perfect travel palette. It has contour. I don't have contour at all. It has highlighters. I can literally take just this palette and go away for a week and I'll be perfectly fine. The next item I would say is get rid of subscriptions. So I have Ipsy, and I always forget to cancel like the month of, but I would say get rid of Ipsy, get rid of BoxyCharm, get rid of all that, because it's just a waste. Like, you're adding stuff into your collection that you really don't need, and on top of that, it just takes up so much space. And for $21 a month, you can literally say, okay, instead of doing Ipsy this month, I'm gonna put $10 away in my savings, and I don't know, in a few months when I have $50, I can go buy me a nice palette, or I can go buy me a decent foundation, Or, you know, I could take myself out on a date and get me some food or some, you know, something different for you, that's actually like a reward. Whereas $10 a month, you're getting these itty bitty samples. Is it really worth it? I feel like BoxyCharm is worth. People say BoxyCharm is worth it, but those are like 5 or 6 full-size products you may not even like or use, so you're like stuck with this crap and you're just like, well, what am I supposed to do with this now? You know what I mean? So I would just say cancel them for like a few months, 3 months at max, see if you miss it. And I bet like if you have BoxyCharm, that's $63 that you just saved. $63, you can go and get products you actually want from like your Pinterest wish list. You can actually go out and do that. $63 is $50 is the mark to get free shipping at Ulta, so you can actually buy, you know, $60 worth of products you actually want. You know what I mean? Instead of having stuff in your collection that you're not going to use or you have to end up giving away. And yeah, it's worth a lot of money, but when you think about it, it's like you're not paying the difference. So why does it matter that you're saving so much money? You're not really saving anything. You're still spending $21. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like the same thing with sales. People say, oh, well, I'm saving this much because it's on sale. You're not really saving anything. You're still spending money. I hope this helped. That was like all my tips. If you want me to do a part 2, I can try and like finesse a part 2. But I think these things have really helped me stay on track with not bringing stuff into my collection that I don't really need. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to leave them below. If you have any tips for me, I'm trying to still figure out this lighting thing. I know there's some shadowing on my neck. But thank you for watching, and yeah. Give this a like, a comment, share it if you want, if it'll help you or some people you know, and have a good day.